this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. This kitchen time is going to be quick. This is my Aliceara Tahitian dancer, which has got to be split because half of it is in the orchids to go and needs to go to somebody else. And I have a feeling, a suspicion, that over the next day or two the weather's going to turn mild, and if it does I want some stuff out the door. Well, this can't go out the door in one piece, can it? Because I want half. This is not exactly in the position I would like it in to do this, but I can't carry on waiting, it's got to be done. Basically I'd like to have seen the new growths coming, but they're not yet. However, this media is breaking down, and when this was repotted last time the old roots weren't taken off. So if they weren't dead then, they certainly are now. So the centre is gone. The reasonable roots around the outside, apart from this collar, which I'm going to cut off completely. This is what I was on about, the smaller grade of Orchids bark. It turns black and it even takes the roots with it. This hasn't been in this pot a huge amount of time, but that particular grade of Orchids bark, mine, is going off far too quickly, and I believe part of the reason is that I've owned it a long time. So it's old bark, even though it hasn't been used, it's old before it starts, if you see what I mean. So right, we need to split. Have a look. We had 4 new growths, didn't we? We've got 2 there and 2 there. I'll split it there, I think. Yeah, we'll go down through there. The old part of the plant's coming off as well. Did that go down far enough to get the riser? Yes. Right, so now I'll just go down to get the roots. And then I'll try pulling it. Very fine root system on this, and that's the Sotoano in it. It's therefore a little fussy on the grounds that it shouldn't dry out, because if it does the roots can die quite easily because they're so fine. They frazzle basically, so it's not a good idea to let the roots dry out. But there again, like all orchids, if the media gets soggy and starts breaking down, they'll die. So happy balance required. Right, let's get this old junk out of the way. This is just the old centre part of the root system that was left on last time. I don't normally do that, but I'm sure there must have been a reason. There must have been some method in me madness at the time, but I've forgotten. Now what I'm going to do is just trim gently to get rid of these black roots, because they're unsightly and I don't think they're ever going to go green again. So I'm just going to take them off. I mean, once this is potted they would be underground anyway. Now it's a matter of what do we keep. I don't want to keep too much because I don't want this. If I take that one off, that one will come with it. So I will leave it. I suspect this will be my bit. So these pieces are still joined, although a bit wobbly. I'm surprised the new growths haven't started. I suspect they will soon, and I suspect they will kick off as a result of getting some new media underneath them. Do I want to untangle that and keep it? I suppose so. That there's dead, we'll have that off. I mean, none of these roots are brilliant, but I need some to get it to stand up in the pot. And they will still work. They might not be brilliant, but they're adequate to hydrate the plant. So I'm just trimming it off because I want to get it in a small pot. along too. Ooh, a couple of manky ones there. And the black one. And there. And there. I can't imagine those black ones would ever shoot out, so there's no point in leaving them. They will clutter up around the base of the plant. Right, so we've got some stubs showing there, which are new roots. They will be, they're not yet. They will be soon. Just making sure the sheaths are off. And whoever is having this plant, I forget who it is, I will warn you now, this plant had scale quite bad. So there is no guarantee that one or two are not still lurking there. It's been treated, but like I've always said, if you've had scale, chances are you've still got them. So watch out. And the places they will appear, like here, these are dead ones. See, they just lift off. So that's where it's been treated. But this is the sort of place they get, like there. So you'll have to watch out. But as I said, this has been treated, so they should all be dead. Right, one piece in the sink. Next. I don't like the look of that, even though it's, well, the leaves have gone yellow anyway. So if I take that off, I should make this a reasonable sized plant. So I'm desperately trying to find a bit of rhizome. You know what I'm like. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, they're dead, but that's where they get, in the sheaths. So you've had your warning, take care. As I said, they have been treated, and the treatment does seem to have worked in as much as the ones I'm finding are actually dead. If you've got scale that are living, they don't brush off very easily, they hang on. Yeah? So if you just sort of touch them and they fall off like dust, they're dead. Only a place for more to hide. Right, so that should also produce 2 new growths. Oh, made me jump. Don't even know what that was. I know what it sounded like, but I'm surprised I could possibly hear that from outside of the fridge. The plastic milk bottles, they often, they either shrink or expand and they pop as they do it. Catches me out many times. And sometimes it actually makes me jump quite, you know, not to leap off the ground. I don't do that sort of, I'm getting too old for that sort of stuff, you know, trampolining and all that sort of stuff that I used to do, perhaps. Right, there's actually better roots on this bit. Right. Little few bits to come off, not much. Well, you're all going to moan that I didn't sterilise my scissors between the 2 plants. It's the same plant. One bit has got anything, then it's all got it, hasn't it? And in addition to that, these were put away sterile. That's why they hadn't been done this time, because they already are sterile, if you know what I mean. Right, so let's clean that up. Right, now I'm going to try and get these in small pots. Yeah, there's some signs of new roots, look. So they are going to produce new roots soon. That means that the new growths will follow as well. Still a bit long, that lot. Branching root system. Don't ever worry about trimming the ends off of a branching root system. It actively encourages them to branch and produce new tips. It actually works. So that's where the new media is going to go. So I'll take that out. Right, there we go, piece number 2. And right, so I should get rid of this rubbish and come back with some media. We'll get those 2 in their pots and get them somewhere shady to settle in. Although one of them's going to go off in the post before it gets a chance to settle in, I suspect. Right, I'll be back. Right, let's get these 2 done. That's Burnham's bark to start with, and that's coconut husk, not chopped up small. Basically this is a small root system, a fine root system, but it still needs air. So what I'm relying on is the Burnham's bark, is the small stuff. The coconut husk is a mixture of small, medium and large, size-wise, and will hold the moisture, whereas the bark, certainly initially, will dry quite quickly. The combination of the two seems to be working quite well, in as much as, you know, if you let it totally dry out, it takes a bit of wetting again, because this coconut husk, if it becomes bone dry, is actually a bit difficult to wet. It's a bit like the bark, you know, it takes a bit of a soak to get it going again. I'll just rinse my hands. Just checking the camera. Just had one of those moments where I thought I'm talking to myself because I haven't switched the record button, but I did. So we're up and running. Right, so the only other thing I'm mixing in is charcoal, and this is getting towards the end of the bag. This bag came from Burnham's. I don't believe it's full of dust, but if it is, it will rinse out. So I'm just going to tip it in. So that's the end of the bag. Okay, there is a bit of dust in there, but the last lot I bought off the internet was a third of the bag was dust, not just the little bit in the bottom. That was bad. This Burnham stuff seems a lot better. Turns everything black. But like I say, the first good watering will be effectively a good flush, so it will wash all that out. Right. Yeah. Dirty mitts again. I don't know why I'm washing them to get them clean. I'm just going to pick that media up and get them dirty again, aren't I? Now, I didn't know what size pots I was going to want, so I brought an assortment. As I say, Oncidium types I still think produce the best root systems in small pots. Can I get away with one that small? Bearing in mind I've got 2 new growths to come on this. Might even get a third, but 2 I would suggest. And that means that when they mature, when the next 2 growths start, I would need to repot. I'm happy with that, on the grounds I still don't know how long this coconut husk is going to last. So it might have to be done anyway. If the media is still really good, then it can just be lifted out and potted on. To give it a bit more time, you know, prior to it desperately needing it, which is better if you don't let it get to that stage. Right, so some big stuff in the bottom, some of the mix on top of that. I'm going to do the small one first because I've got a feeling I might have to go up a size. So we'll give that a bit of a twist. Now on this one, I'm not sure where these new growths are going to come from. I doubt if they'll come off of that one, but they could come off of there, or this one round here. So it really is a bit hit and miss, this one. And this is going to take a lot of wiggling to get the media down in between this root system, because there's a lot of roots, and of course the media is wet because of the coconut husk. So I just have to keep sort of wiggling around and checking, you know, looking, how am I doing, sort of thing. Have I left any big gaps? Is it getting down in there? And being a branching root system, even some of these older roots might actually start to grow, you know, and actually branch out. But nonetheless, a whole new root system will be produced once the new growths start, and that should be any time now. Right, that's nice and steady in the pot as well. That are good. Just putting some nice small stuff around the base. So the beauty of this this mix is that you can actually go a little bit deeper with the plant, because the media does actually dry off quite quickly at the top. So you can actually go a little bit deeper. which means the roots always get straight into something. So there we go, that's one done. There's a little bit of a gap there, but not much. Right, that can go back in the sink. And the next one, I think I'm going to have to go up a size. And yet again, to go up one size, I've got to go up two. Ah! A wide flat one, even better. I didn't know. That was tucked in there, sort of not really showing. You can see the difference. The top's not far off the same size, but the difference in volume, that's a good pot. I should get some more of them. But these odd shaped pots like this are just where a plant's been bought and that's what it was in, and then it's either been repotted or chucked out. And I don't ever throw away clear pots, I always keep them. They always get cleaned up and kept. Right, let's get that big lump out. Now can I get you down in there? Good mind to take that big bulb off, you know. It's leafless. No, that growth will come off. Yes, I did say that, didn't I? Got a memory. Right, again, new growths could come out almost anywhere on this, but most likely to come out of here, these two. So I'll keep that, keep a bit of a gap in front of those. This pot is also opaque, so it won't need to go inside a black pot, which is good. Oops, big bit. On a big bit on the top. The roots come out and just hit a brick wall. They would find their way round, you know, I mean, sort of obstacles like that happen in the wild, then you know they've just got to deal with it, haven't they? They tend to just turn sideways and get in underneath or whatever, but they manage. Right. That's not bad. Oh goody. Right. So yeah. Mucky mitts. Not much clearing up to do, and one plant and two plants, and this will be the one that goes off to whoever it is, I've forgotten. Along with other plants, it's not. There's only one person that actually bought one plant, and it is quite a large one, so it's still going to have quite a big box, even though there's only one plant in it. Whereas some of the other boxes will be the same size and have 3 or 4 plants in. So yes, the plants to go could be any day now. It's literally as soon as I see a window of 3 to 4 days, I will start packing a box and get it ready. If I've still got some energy, I'll do a second box. They'll go straight round to Postman Pat and they'll be on their way. I will email people when they are on their way, and if people can then email me back once they've arrived, and then I can email you with the postal cost, which I won't know till I post it obviously, plus what you agreed to pay for the plants, and the PayPal details to be able to make the payment. I've found a better way of doing it as well. It's called PayPal Me. So basically my PayPal account has got a link. So basically you just type in the website, yeah, and it takes you straight in and invites you to log into your PayPal account, and then it just says send money. So it makes life so much easier. Yes, my daughter put me onto that. It was the last lot of money I sent to her. She said, well, why don't you do it this way, Dad? It's much easier. So I did, and it was. Right, so that's that little session. Of course, we're putting some sort of videos in the bank here, because although one of these is to go to somebody else, you know, there'll be a progress report on this now via the new style video in an amount of time. But like I said, there's no good doing progress reports on plants too soon after the event. because there won't be anything to see. But somewhere down the line, you know, 2 or 3 months down the line, we'll have a look at this and see what it's done. Nothing to something, or is no longer with us. Those are the choices. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by.